Hello everybody and welcome back to Pravus Gaming, more Hearts of Iron 4, Man the Guns, Poland Stronk. We wasted a bit of political power last time trying to get a claim on Estonia, but of course the British did guarantee them, so I should have known that was not going to work and just not done it. That was a goof on my end. Now we're just trying to get ready for our inevitable conflict here against the Soviet Union. We are probably going to be fine in terms of things like infantry equipment and stuff. What we're looking for is a lot more support equipment, and with some towed artillery, blah, blah, blah. You know, something I would like to get is towed anti-air. I would love to get some more towed anti-air, because that would not only give us a slight edge at shooting down their planes, but also is a poor man's anti-tank, and I happen to know for a fact that the Soviet Union has some light tanks, which could cause problems, potentially. So that would be a lovely thing to work into my divisions, if at all possible. Not sure we're going to get that option. I'm going to let these guys train up just one more set, and then after that, I think we're going to have to be done with them. We're not going to be going to war with them quite yet. I thought about it, but it's just not going to work out, I don't think. Instead, we need to spend some time really building up our forts. We probably want to get at least a level 3 across the board if possible. I'll go ahead and build level 2 across the board, because if I start queuing them up now, they're just going to build everything in one zone at a time. But yeah, I would say a minimum of level 3. Now, I am looking at this these borders here, and I'm wondering if maybe we should not defend quite where we're currently defending. For example, I don't know if we necessarily want to be building forts here. The reason being, if he wants to, he could have 3 people attacking this fort, which is going to undo its advantage. It might be better instead to pull my troops back here, right? Let him take this, and then we have the advantage to attack multi-pronged. So instead, make sure that we're building up our forts along here instead. That might be better. There might be similar issues, let's say, right here, for example. This is a spot that could get hit pretty hard. Alternatively, I mean, he'll have to cross a river in this area, but yeah, he could get... I can't tell if these two are connected. He potentially could get hit up to a minimum of 3, maybe 4 at a time. Like, this would be an area where I need a really strong fort to even have it matter. Might be worth pulling back there, too. Then we'd be able to do the 3-pronged attack. I kind of like the idea, honestly, of being smarter about our front line and just not putting ourselves in a disadvantageous position. Let's see, these are fine. You are a bit of a risk. So we may want to abandon this front line, too. This is a bad spot. Build there instead. Yeah, if we do something like this, this might actually be a more defensible position for me, and it actually puts him in a position where I might be able to eventually surround him and attack. And once we are able to charge against him, that's fine. I don't know. The most important thing to remember here is that the initial phase against the Soviet Union is going to be a meat grinder. He is going to be throwing body after body after body against me. In like 10-to-1 losses, he'll lose like 1 million by the time I lose 100,000 men. The biggest deal, though, is to try and wear out his equipment. So he doesn't have any more guns to use. If we can do that, I'll be a lot happier. But that's going to take a while, and we just have to weather that storm. So the more defensible our position, the better. Definitely, the better. We will build up at least this military factory. We might even want to build one more since I'm not going to war quite yet. Hang on. Oh, Spanish Civil War finally ended. Okay. We'll finish this up real quick. Yeah, so Nationalist Spain won, as they often do. That's fun. Would be nice if I could, you know, fabricate a claim against, let's say, Romania or something, but I don't think we're going to be able to do that without the British trying to protect them, which is unfortunate. Danzig is going to get demanded in about a year. And then about mid-1940, early 1940, I think, is when the Soviets usually demand Eastern Poland. And we're in a weird position where I have to decide, am I actually going to attack them while they have the Great Purge or not? Because if the Great Purge is still active and we attack them, they will get an event called the Great Patriotic War, which I think lasts for ever and gives them a 25% organization bonus. So this really goes away. Like, this whole Officers' Purge thing does not last for very long. I don't know. We may or may not be able to make use of that. But I don't know if he still gets the Great Patriotic War if he attacks us. Maybe not? If that's the case, then maybe in the long term over the course of that war, this is actually better, is don't attack him while he has the Great Purge. Which is the opposite of what I would have expected, but maybe? Alright, we're going to make sure that everyone here is getting attached to dark blue for a moment. Finish that off. How are we doing in terms of our support equipment? We are producing 8 per day. That's not a lot. We are now producing some towed anti-air, though. That's awesome. We do need a little bit more steel to make that work. So yeah, if I can get like 1,000 towed anti-air, we might be able to get enough piercing value to actually fight back against his tanks. We do not need this much infantry equipment, so I'm going to pull back on that a little bit. And maybe put one more factory here. Maybe not. Maybe we focus a bit more on artillery. That's still more important. All right, how are we doing in terms of research? We're about to finish tanks. You know, I kind of regret going for tanks. I think this is a dumb mistake. What we could have done is gone deliberately ahead of time on things like, I don't know, guns, so we have more soft attack for all of my infantry. And I'm going to do that now. I don't have any research bonuses, but who cares? It is better for me to have the better guns and possibly use that research advantage against him as much as we can. Central Industrial Region will be done soon. We'll have another military factory that we can use. One more for the towed anti-air like so. We're a little low on steel, but I'm going to have to make do. I feel like I've made a few mistakes so far in this playthrough, but I'm hopeful that this can still work. It's funny because I've seen people able to just utterly obliterate the Soviets in the past. I'm not sure if I'm doing something horribly wrong. I'm trying. I mean, I was able to grab at least a couple of neighbors. Maybe we could have taken out Romania, Hungary, Bulgaria, and so on. Maybe that would have been an option, but the problem is Romania often gets guaranteed by Czechoslovakia. So if I did want to fight over Romania, I would have had to fight Czechoslovakia around the same time. Which might have been a little bit difficult. Especially since they have, you know, a frick ton of mountains. Okay, we can go for some extra infrastructure down over here, which seems perfectly fine. Of course, we could go for some land doctrines and stuff and speed a lot of this up. Baltic Alliance. We could try to just get Estonia to join me. But I think we want to work toward some more production. All right, we finished with the factories we have. So now we are officially starting with all of our forts, which is going to take a little while. Once we are at war with the Soviets, we are probably going to want to switch over to a repair focus for our national focus tree, just so we can repair these forts fast enough to survive. The good news is we are able to produce these things about every 10 days or so. So we're rapidly putting out more and more of these forts. It's not going to take us outrageously long. Another year and we'll absolutely have a very well-fortified border. Okay, these guys are almost done. Decryption frequency analysis is finished. Cool. I'm going to go ahead and get started early on the engineer companies so we have extra entrenchment value. Are you a good general for this? Like, we may want to consider reworking our generals for a second. So you have no traits at all? Really? Doesn't feel right. Max planning. Max entrenchment, though. Like, do we want the field marshal with the entrenchment? You have Panzer Leader. Reconnaissance. You're a field marshal. The thing is, I actually kind of think reinforce rate goes better with attacking and recovery goes better with defense. So I guess I will give you organization first. This field marshal is not currently assigned anywhere. You're a thorough planner. We could go for more max entrenchment on you. And I will. So you then have no traits, which sucks. I think I would rather actually take the slightly worse defense guy just to get the extra 30% entrenchment on you. Let's do that. I think we're going to have to. You swap out with this general, because he's more defensively minded. You now have too many troops. So let's create another army division. Attach them here. I guess we're going to give you as the general. Change up your color. And let's assign a front line, let's say, down over here. And everyone else is going to get assigned to this. Okay. What did we just finish? I don't know. This is not too far ahead time. Let's go for some more construction speed. So we're going to change up our front lines a little bit. I'm not worried about Romania. What I'm going to do then is extend you guys in a front line here. You need a new front line along here. And what I'm going to go for is kind of a three-pronged attack. I call this the pitchfork maneuver. And what you do is you have three spearheading offensive divisions attacking kind of in a straight line, and if you see an opportunity to collapse them for a big encirclement, you go for it. And these guys follow up as the guys who just simply entrench and hold back. All right. We are running a little low on manpower. I'm going to need to get more of that. Speaking of which, we can modify the government now. I think I'm going to go ahead and do that. Let's go for limited conscription. Okay, so far so good. Research-wise, we're about to get defense in depth, so that's 5 more max entrenchment. All right, now we will go for mass mobilization. Division attrition, effective partisans, mass charge. I'm not even sure mass charge is going to work well for me, but again, we're just working toward that extra 5% recruitable population, so I don't have to scrape the barrel quite as soon. Logistics-wise, how are we looking? We're producing a bit of anti-air. We are now at a surplus of artillery. We are not quite at a surplus of support equipment, unfortunately. Producing 10 a day, and it's still taking a while. We're getting there. We have plenty of guns coming in. It's probably worth staying on the infantry equipment if we can, just because I know I'm going to use up a lot of that. Construction-wise, how are we looking? We have made our way up about a third of the border. These guys apparently are a lower priority for some reason. Hang on. Let's bring that up a little bit, just so we have that done, so I don't forget about it. I do think that pulling back the way that we are is going to make a lot of sense. It surrenders a tiny bit of land to ensure that I am fighting on my terms and not his. If we get a slight concave around him, so he doesn't get a concave around me, that's got to be a better strategy, right? You're filling the railway gaps. We can go for another military factory here. Where am I going to assign it? Probably on anti-air, surprisingly. Just because if I can work that into my defensive divisions, that's enough piercing that it can overcome some early tank divisions. And if you look here right now at these guys, your armor is 6.5, and the support anti-air gives me an extra... Where is it? 7.5. It's usually enough. Anti-tank is obviously better. And I guess I could have been producing that instead, but it's more expensive, and I wouldn't have had the civilian factories to back it up. Also, I need some way to actually fight back against his air support, because I do not have any air support at all. So it's not only a way of defending against his tanks, it's a way of defending against his close air support. That's what I'm going for. I mean, I know that the Toda anti-tank is pretty good, but I think this might be the right call. If I want to toss you into, let's say, on my 20 combat with divisions here, right, that would take me a lot. We need 951. Wouldn't mind adding in artillery to you guys. I wouldn't have enough in storage, but we might have enough by the time that the war is ready to begin. I'm going to go ahead and add you on. Can't afford logistics or field hospitals. I went kind of too ham, I think. If I had to do this over again, I think I went too ham on going for random non-useful techs, such as tanks. Instead, I should have just gone ahead of time on infantry equipment so we would have had that advantage. I think that's what we should have done. All right, any month now, we're going to get Danziger War. There's the fate of Czechoslovakia, so he's about to split them. Then he usually goes for Danzig. Supremacy of Technology, Operation Z. I would love to see them fight Finland. I'm just trying to think if there's a way to get around his Great Patriotic War, because we're at a point right now where the officers purged would do me no good. If we attack him right now, the benefit we get is basically negligible because of the Great Patriotic War. If he attacks me and doesn't get it, then in the long term, that's a better play for me at this point. Let's go ahead and swap out infantry equipment. So now we're not producing a lot, but we have a lot more to reinforce, but still, if we can get it, that's awesome. I need a lot more steel all of a sudden, which means we are not building very quickly anymore. Or at least not as quickly. We could go ahead of time on some more tech. Let me think for a second. Probably still better to go for some production efficiency bonuses right now. Engineers, once they're done, we're going to go for recon. We do have a bit more manpower, so that's nice at least. Forts are making some good progress. We're going to go ahead and build these guys up to level 3. We got to remember to actually pull our troops back when the war does break out. So we'll go for that for now. Let's see. Anything else we want to do here? Probably not. We can justify a war goal against him pretty quick. Like, it will not take me too long. Right now, he hasn't actually committed a lot of troops against me. Don't know how much we can rely on that in the future, though. Recon Company. Let's go ahead and get that extra reconnaissance value for the extra tactics advantage. What kind of entrenchment are we looking at some of our units here at this point? Defense value is 358 with artillery, so that helps. Entrenchment is at 7. But shouldn't we have like an extra 5 from our doctrine plus anything extra from our generals? So, I mean, that adds up. Still got a long ways to go on our next doctrine, so I'm not going to worry about preparing for the next war yet. Let's go for a bonus to... Do I want to go for a bonus on computing technology? Yeah, we could actually get that very soon. Let's go ahead and do that next. The bomb. Fate of Czechoslovakia. So that's now done. So the German Reich is bordering up against me. Zog submits to Italy, so there goes Albania. Can I ramp up in power faster than the Soviets? Why does that feel highly unlikely? Because it is highly unlikely. Of course, it all makes sense now. I'm going to make you guys 20 combat width and give you engineers as well. Just because I don't want these mountaineers to be useless to me. Okay. We have finished with these guys. We have new divisions. I'm going to go ahead and pull out a couple of you. I'm going to let you guys be kind of a garrison for the ports. Along here. Just in case we do get a naval invasion, which could happen. Political power, I might save that so we can go for, like, war economy and stuff now. None of the rest of this is absolutely crucial. I mean, a chief of army for defense isn't a bad idea. Maybe I do this now. Let's pick him up so I don't forget. But yeah, we're going to save the rest of our political power so I can change up our economy and our conscription law when we do go to war against the Soviets. You guys do not need this many troops over here anymore. Some of your infantry need to train up because you're all green at the moment. Some of them are anyway. We got a few green infantry here. There's not much I can do about that. Couple along here too. Yeah, let's just go ahead and get these guys back up to regulars. Construction tech is done. Awesome. Okay, you can stop. You can stop. You can stop. And you can stop. All right, everyone's back up to being regulars at least. That's nice. Don't have a general available down here. Just going to have to live with that. If we wait a little bit, we can get a research bonus for atomic research, which would be nice. I'm going to go ahead and research and upgrade to our artillery. It's probably time to do that. We'll be able to start replacing that soonish. I'm worried about this one. I really do think that this is going to be really difficult. We're almost done with our forts, though. Go ahead and start bringing these up to level 3. Where did this come from? Why do we have a level 2 here? I don't remember building that. Did I not decide that I wanted to get rid of this? This seems like another obvious area where I should have built something else. I guess we can try holding on to it. Maybe it's okay, but I want to have a fallback position. Bring those up to level 3. Okay. Come on, guys. How fast can you build these forts, dang it? I need all the fortage, but at the very least, we're going to have some level of forts everywhere. It helps. Helps a lot. Do we go ahead and start fabricating our claim now? Or do I wait for them to attack me at this point? I think we have to wait for them to attack me. Which means we've got about a year left. It would not be the worst idea to get a little bit of anti-air in a few key places, just a little bit, for a little more defensive value. Maybe some radar, too. Just so we can detect his bombers and destroy them before they take out too much of my stuff. We need to train some more troops. What do we have in excess of? Currently kind of everything, so let's train up 1, 2, 3 more of you. Do this once. You will be assigned to the dark blue. I'm going to go ahead and now add on the anti-air. We don't have enough at all. So we have a huge deficit, but we're going to go ahead and try. Producing more guns so we can upgrade all of our units seems fine to me. We probably can start pulling back a little bit, at least, on our support equipment and swap those factories around, start producing a little faster. So 5 per day, I mean, it's going somewhere. We're definitely going to be reinforcing. Wouldn't mind adding it on to these guys, too. You guys don't even have support artillery at this point. Let's go ahead and toss that onto the pile. So we have another deficit of artillery, but we're producing enough. Italy joins the Axis. Okay. The bomb is done. I'm going to prepare for the next war so that we can go for a doctrine increase. And as soon as we're done with the next round of tech, I think we go for the next early computer. Okay, here comes Danziger War. We knew that was coming. Slovakia is a Reichsprotectorate of the German Reich. Yeah, we'll have to fight them eventually. Can I justify a war goal against Hungary? Without the allies defending it, because they are fascist? I don't think they're going to want to defend it. Maybe we can actually get a quick war goal and take out Hungary real quick before the Soviets attack me. That'd be a way to get a few extra factories and such. And also, potentially give us a new avenue to attack the German Reich eventually. Let's try for it. Let's try for it and see if it works. Always scary to see this. German Reich justifying against us. Ah, no, please. All right, upgrade that computing. Go, go, go. Outdated equipment. You know what? For now, I'm going to continue producing it just so we can get everyone up to full strength and we can produce these new units. Then we'll swap over. But not before. It's going to cost me too much. We are still building out these forts pretty well. These guys are now up to level 3. Recon Company is upgraded. I'm going to say that this is actually a top priority. Okay, with that done, let's go ahead and get started on some early defense and breakthrough for all my units. I know we're ahead of time on that, but I think it's still worth it. Making sure there's nothing else I absolutely need. If we go for some research bonuses, we'll get this later, so I'm not worried about it right now. Not going to go for air. Already working on doctrines. Could upgrade the anti-air. That's probably still worth it. I don't know if it's better than the soft attack, but I think we need it. All right, let's see. 7 per day. Construction's finishing up pretty quick. I mean, we're going to do nothing but build forts from here on out. Nothing but from here on out. These divisions, in theory, with the anti-air in position, are going to have 13.8 piercing value. Again, I don't know how much armor he's going to have, but if we have more piercing than he has armor, that means he does not get any bonuses for his survivability, which means we can crush his organization a lot faster and more readily. That's why this is so important, I think. I should have started producing that sooner, but I didn't really think about it. We're doing okay on infantry equipment. Let's take a look at this real quick. So, the new one that we like is the WZ-838 Moors, I guess. We shouldn't really have any of this stored up. We're producing 550 per week. We're not storing anything. We're just upgrading all of our current units. We are prepared for the next war. There's Danzig. We are going to make a deal and give up Danzig. There go some of my factories. Sorry, has to happen. I'm going to go for the Baltic Alliance, and let's see if we can get Estonia to join. All right, German Reich, enjoy your frickin' spoils, you jerk. The Panay incident, okay. Now we have a surplus of artillery, so we are going to swap over and start upgrading everything. We have more than enough support equipment at the moment. I'm going to pull back and continue with the towed anti-air. Eastward expansion. Having been forced to cede Gdansk to the Germans, we are now locked in a vise between two empires. Do we want to push east and get claims against the Soviet Union, but also fascist influence? I would really rather not have fascist influence, so we're just going to go for this. All right, waiting on the Soviets to attack me. Baltic Alliance going nicely. How are we doing here against Hungary? We are almost halfway done, surprisingly. You do have some mountains we'll have to push through, but I think we can do it. I'm going to go ahead and set up a front line right here and move all of you down here for a second. Let's create an offensive line. We want to get down toward the river. Budapest and all that. Yeah, if we can get everyone down here, I mean, maybe. This could be good. Modify government? No. Gonna hold out. How many factories do you have? A good amount, actually. We might be able to just cheese the game and get war economy. That would be pretty advantageous. Assuming that bug... Well, I don't know if it's a bug, but assuming that exploit still works. So the only way you can get war economy is if you're fighting somebody who has more factories than you, right? Or wait, hang on. Is that true? Following must be true. Current policy passage. If neither of the above, then at war. Yeah. If the enemy has a good number of factories, right? So we currently have a lot more factories than they do. But if we send a lot of our factories to trade, even if we're not really going to use any of these goods, then that sometimes results in the game thinking, oh, you don't have very many factories because they're all doing other things, which means now they have equivalent number of factories to you, which means now you can pick up war economy. It sometimes works. I do think taking over Hungary would be quite nice. It would give us a bit of an advantage, and if we could justify against, say, Romania, that'd be awesome. That would take too long, though. I'm pretty confident we're not going to be able to do that before the Soviets attack us. German Reich has officially declared war on Luxembourg. World War II begins. Luxembourg joins the Allies. They have now declared on the Netherlands. All right, so the Germans are now heavily distracted. This is sort of the point where in some cases you actually could say, you know what, Soviets, you can have Eastern Poland. I'm going to go fight the Germans. But even now, I don't think that that's a good call for us. We just didn't ramp up in power as fast as I wanted to. Hungary is supporting Italy. Yeah, all right. In 50 days, let's see if we can take them out. Could try justifying on Yugoslavia. I'm just too concerned that this is going to result in the Germans or in the Italians trying to fight over Yugoslavia, and they'll fight me, which is something I can't win right now. We could go for some propaganda just to get some extra war support going. I don't know if that's really worth the political power right now. Anti-air upgrade is going to be done. Sweet. Let's go ahead and start working early on the soft attack for all of our infantry equipment. Netherlands capitulates already. That was pretty quick. Belgium is now at war. Yeah, so the United Kingdom and France are doing their thing. Let's see how well that works. We have how many people fielded? 1.3 million troops fielded in the out right now is not bad. Okay, I'm going to go ahead and start producing some more of these guys. Just so we have more offensive units. Maybe swap the regular infantry out of here. I do kind of wonder if maybe I want to move the mountaineers over here. I think the answer is yes, just because I am actually going to be fighting in the mountains here around Hungary. Might as well have what few units I possess that are capable of fighting in mountains effectively. Let's just do that. I'm going to pull a couple of infantry off and move them back over here. All right, seems good. Belgium is down already. The Germans were very prepared for this war. And now France is going to die. Yep. It's sort of inevitable. Workers' culture. When are you going to be done, man? Yeah, the officer's purge is gone. Basically. For all intents and purposes, it's gone. He has a lot of troops. I've got a pretty good amount considering the position I've been in. I want to be careful not to field too many more troops or else we're going to have manpower issues. Paris is already out, and there goes France. Look at that. They were utterly unprepared. All right, Vichy France is probably going to get released in a moment. Let's go for the infantry recovery rate and the reinforce rate, which is going to be very helpful, just while sitting there and entrenching. So yeah, they're completely down for the count. Wow, France, that was absolutely pathetic. This probably does affect my trade, doesn't it? Yep. Can't really trade with France anymore. Let's trade with, let's trade with the UK. That's probably fine. Okay. We'll give them some extra civilian factories to possibly use. How's the justification looking? Almost done. I know we're out of time for this video, so we kind of got to move on, but let's see if we can pull it off. Green doesn't feel very confident at all, and I don't know why, because we should easily destroy this. He has basically nobody defending his borders. Baltic Alliance. All right. So Vichy France exists. Wow, Vichy France, like, automatically got all of Africa? Whoa! All right, Estonia, you should have an automatic invitation to join my faction. Are you gonna do it? I'm sorry for pretending to justify a war against you earlier. I promise I didn't mean anything by it. Let's start working toward the nuclear research and stuff ahead of time so we can use that extra research to just outdo the Soviets if possible. Estonia joins! Hey, we have our first buddy-bud. And Bulgaria joins the Axis. Okay. Cool, we have a single friend. Now that I think about it, the Soviets are probably just going to rush in and crush them, though, right? Probably. How are we doing on those forts? I mean, yeah. Probably should just hold this line like so. Because we're probably going to have to go there. I imagine Estonia is going to die. There was not really a lot of point in bringing them in. Aside from maybe forcing them to just divide their front line up a little bit. But not much. The Soviets are going to obliterate them. But if it distracts them briefly, might end up being fine. The fall of Nanjing. Okay. So we're going to end this video here, but next video we're going to take out Hungary. Very soon, I expect that we are going to have the communists attacking us. Just checking all this, making sure. Yeah. So very soon I expect they're going to attack us. We're going to wait for them. We're just going to keep ramping up our forts so that when they attack us, it's going to hurt. And then pray that it's enough. Because if it's not, well, goodbye. All right, thank you all for watching. Hope you enjoyed. If so, then I would ask you to hit that like button, leave a comment, and subscribe, and I will see you guys next time.